Hello and welcome to another episode of Mindfully Fit, your onboarding education series. Today we're going to talk about the golden pyramid of fat loss. There are a lot of things that people say and do to try to lose body fat. And one of the things we want to remember is that we're not necessarily looking to lose weight, we're looking to lose body fat. Especially if you are doing a body recomposition and you are trying to build muscle at the same time that you're losing body fat. Because remember, you might not see a huge change on the scale, which to some people, this can be super frustrating, and I totally understand. But our goal is to lose body fat. So we're going to talk about how to lose body fat. Okay, so on the golden pyramid of body fat, the first thing you need, the very base of the pyramid, is a caloric deficit. You will not lose body fat if you are not in a calorie deficit. If you are consuming more calories than you are burning, you will never lose fat. It does not matter how much you exercise, and it does not matter how healthy you eat. If you are eating more than you burn, you will not lose body fat, okay? The caloric deficit, this energy balance is required in order for your body to let go of the additional weight that it's carrying. So there are some people who say like, oh, well, this person can lose weight and they eat whatever they want. Well, sometimes they're actually really not eating as much as they seem to be eating. Other times it might be because they have a lot of muscle tissue, which increases your metabolism, which makes sure that you're burning enough calories to lose body fat. And half the time, those people are actually really training really hard, that we just don't see that part. So we want to make sure that you are in a calorie deficit. If you're not in a calorie deficit, you're not going to lose body fat. So how do we make sure that you're in a caloric deficit? Number one, you track your macros. You can use your hand portions, and hand portions are going to be a great way for you to learn how to eat. But if you have some fine tuning to do, especially if you have already hit most of your goals and you're trying to get that last 5 pounds, tracking macros is really going to be the way to get you there. Okay, so first you need to track everything you consume. So tracking your macros is important at this time. And this means everything. That spread of butter that you put on your toast, that creamer that you put in your coffee, your salad dressing, every single thing that you put in your mouth, you need to make sure that it is being tracked. If it is tracked and measured, it can be managed, okay? A lot of people have these habits of grazing. So they will pick up things off their kids' plates and just mindlessly put it in your mouth, and that counts too. That decreases your caloric deficit. So no matter how hard you worked in the gym that morning, if you spend the rest of your day not even understanding how much food you're eating, you may not see results. You might be stronger in the gym, you might be building muscle, but you will not be getting rid of that body fat. The next thing of the period is protein. The pyramid, is protein. You need at least 1 gram of protein per pound of your goal body weight in order to really build that lean muscle tissue, so that when you do lose fat, you won't be left being skinny fat. You will be left with a nice, lean, toned physique. So I talked in a previous video how important protein is. Protein is super important. So the more protein you eat, protein has a high thermogenic effect of food. That means it takes a lot more energy for your body to break down protein than anything else. So the more protein you eat, the more calories you're burning to digest it. The more muscle you build and the more muscle you maintain by eating that protein, muscle is has a very high metabolic rate. You need to burn more calories when you burn more calories when you have more muscle on your body. So that is just a very easy way to burn more calories, is by keeping muscle on by eating more protein. So protein also does not get stored in your body the way that fats and carbs do. Protein is the building block of your muscle. So that's its job. That's where it goes, versus fats and carbs, where fats get stored as fat and carbs get stored in your liver as sugars, and then it can be turned into fat over time if it's not used. So protein is just a little different in general, and protein is the other than the caloric deficit, protein is the number one thing that you need to focus on when you are trying to change your body. The next thing is you want to make sure that you are lifting weights. Okay, You are not going to get the body that you want unless you are lifting weights. You need that lean muscle tissue in order to get the body that you want. You will not gain lean muscle tissue unless you are breaking it down in the gym, okay? Which is what happens when you lift weights. You need to lift weights 2 to 5 times a week in order to really see progress in muscle building and to get that toned physique that you're looking for. After you lift your weights, after you eat your protein, after you have a caloric deficit, the next thing you want to make sure is you sleep, okay? Sleeping is so important and so undervalued. I think in the United States, we have this go, 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 go hard, never stop, no rest, I can sleep when I'm dead with mentality, and it is really affecting us as a population. Sleep is critical. It's critical for our bodies, it's critical for our brain, it's critical for our hormones, it's critical for our heart. Stress levels and everything is affected by sleep, and so is our mood. And if you're in a crappy mood, you are less likely to eat healthy, and if you are not eating healthy, you are less likely to go work out. So sleep really does affect everything, and we always want to make sure we are shooting for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night in order to really rest, recover, recharge, and be able to take on everything the next day. Sleep has a lot of benefits, but one of the benefits is you break down your muscle in the gym, okay? And then you build them back up during your rest and recovery period. So if you're not giving your body adequate rest, you might not be recovering well enough. You will be more prone to injury. You will be more prone to burnout. You will be more prone to just having those mood issues that, again, are going to affect you all the way down the line. So sleep is super important. The last thing is cardio. Cardio is not necessary in order to lose weight. I know that we sometimes do step challenges, and those are for fun. Those are just to increase our calorie deficit when it's crunch time or when you're trying to get some movement in. But the best thing cardio is for your mental state. Cardio is great for your mental state, especially if you go do cardio outside and you are walking and you're chatting with a friend, or you're walking your dog, or you're doing something relaxing. That is what I would use cardio for. You do not need to be doing HIIT cardio 4 times a week. Cardio is simply a helpful tool, but it's definitely not going to make the changes that a lot of people assume that it's going to make. So think about cardio as for your mental health versus your physical health. Do it because it feels good, and not because you're trying to punish yourself for a meal that you ate, not because you're trying to get you want to drink alcohol later, so you're going to do extra cardio. Don't do it for any other reason other than I want to move my body and it feels good, because cardio really is not necessary, and it's really not that important for weight loss or muscle building. So that is your pyramid of fat loss. Okay, so we're going to go over it again. The first thing you need is a caloric deficit. Then you need to make sure you're getting protein. Then you need to make sure you're lifting weights. Then you need to make sure you are sleeping, and then you can add in cardio whenever you want, simply because it feels good. If you have any questions, let me know.